Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate and punctual Final Fantasy podcast. We're here to talk to you guys today about the new, hot off the press, fresh off the line, released 1 week ago today, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line.
We were so ready to have a very, very prompt episode for you.
Yeah.
But then shit happened. I'm Joe, by the way.
I'm Kaleb, the cause of the shit that happened.
Yeah. So you want to tell them why they haven't had an episode of Ultima Final Fantasy in months?
So, first of all, we were playing that Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Is that what it is? I think it is, yeah. Chain of Memories. I have little to no memory of it, though.
I'll be restarting that.
Yeah. So we were starting out doing that, and I was like, we should try to knock this out before we get to the new Theatrhythm game, and we'll just play it when we can. And then we both decided that we were going to focus on our other podcast, Nude Clan, a video game podcast, but to put on hold the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories game, because Final Bar Line, I mean, we knew it was a Theatrhythm game. They're usually pretty fast.
Yeah.
So we both bought it. We both played it. We both beat it pretty fast because it's not a long game. And then, I was working on 100%ing it, which I have done since then. And Joe drove up one weekend, thankfully not just for this, but it was a combination platter of podcasts.
Yeah, so now my rule is, because this is a 3-hour drive, my rule is I need 2 reasons to drive up north for the weekend. Because otherwise, gas, I guess it was more expensive a few months ago.
Yeah.
Luckily it's cheaper now, but it was like every time I go up there, it's $100. Like,
yeah, and you go off your diet.
Gas,
and you fucking everything is.
I either eat like gas station food and fuck up my diet, or I'm at my sister's house and have like a ludicrous amount of free food, which also fucks up my diet. So I'm like, look, my health goes downhill every time I go up north.
Yeah.
There has to be 2 goddamn reasons for me to, and I, of course, it costs money. There has to be 2 reasons. So it's like, if I come up north, there's got to be at least 2 podcasts going on, or a podcast and a family thing. Like, there has to be good shit. Okay.
Yeah.
This weekend, for example, there was a concert that I went to with my family. So there's a family event, and double it up. Get a podcast in there. And actually, I'm going to have a triple this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to watch some Godzilla cartoon with Drew and get some stuff done for the Godzilla podcast tomorrow.
That sounds like fun, sort of.
They're not bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Because it's the 90s cartoon that we had when we were kids, briefly. And it's so much better than every other fucking TV thing that came out for Godzilla, except for maybe Singular Point. So it is refreshingly entertaining and well done.
Nice.
So
that's good.
Yeah, thank God.
You guys have suffered enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It took you how long to watch the last show? Like forever?
A year and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was torture. It was like UFF level torture of shit we've had to endure.
Oh, yeah. It was like, damn.
What I love about the Godzilla podcast versus UFF is like, a bad movie is 2 hours.
Yeah.
Max,
the bad game can be a long time.
Bad game can be 40 hours on UFF. So
sometimes the bad games are real short too, though.
That's true. But even a real short bad game, even the shortest games we've played for UFF is like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the bad ones either. But now imagine that's still twice as long as a bad Godzilla movie.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
Anyway.
So.
There's that. So I came up for a weekend. I had a Godzilla podcast thing. I had UFF lined up.
Yeah. And we had all the equipment all set up. We got everything ready to go. And I was like, okay, well, I can't find the little card reader. That I don't know what it is about this thing, but like in the eyes of my children, it's like gem encrusted or something. They were obsessed with finding it, no matter where I put it, even if I put it up high. finding it and then putting it somewhere else. And like we tore this place apart and for like 2 hours just looking. And I went like, I dug in the garbage. I fucking jumped in my dumpster to pull out my garbage bag that I stupidly was like, oh yeah, let's macho this thing all the way to the back. And then I come out and I was like, fuck, dude.
Dumpster dive.
Yeah, I jumped in there and I dug through some nasty shit.
It's funny now, but I was so angry.
I was pretty mad too.
Yeah, we were both very angry at Kaleb Schweiss.
And I just couldn't find it. And I was like, sorry, man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is fucking bullshit.
Well,
my whole day is wasted.
Well, no, there was a point where it was like, well, we could buy a new card. And it was like, we should have just bought it 2 hours ago. Like, now it's too late.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah,
but I wanted to find it. And I was like, we already bought new cards. I've already ripped one of them in half that one time. Like, how much of our budget is going to go to these fucking SD cards? We bought one that didn't work.
Support us on Patreon.
The other day, yeah. It's like, we can't do this.
So we can have SD cards.
I got SD cards everywhere in here. It's like I got SD cards hiding under the fucking floorboards.
It was so bad. And like, I'll just underline, I guess, it's like us getting together. First off, I hate doing these remote.
Yeah, really especially Ultima, because it's like an occasion.
I actually hate doing both.
Oh, I do too, but
I hate doing any podcast remote. I know we had to do it when I was in LA.
Yeah, but we don't have to now.
We don't have to now.
Technically, yeah.
I don't like not being able to hear myself. I think that's like part of it. It's like I sound like a fucking, to me, when I hear myself back on a remote episode, I'm like, I sound like a fucking idiot. Like I'm not quick on my feet. Like I just don't have the presence. And also it's uncomfortable to actually record. Like part of the joy for me is making it an event and being in person.
Yeah.
And I don't like remote recording podcasts. And I guess if people who start podcasts, if that's all they do, then whatever, they don't know the difference. But anyway, so yeah, we come up here, we make it a thing. Now, it's a big pain in the butt because mine and Schweiss's schedules are not aligned at all. I have an 8 to 5 job and Schweiss has a 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. job.
Ish, yeah. Yeah.
I would like to say, it's a 7 to 4 job and a 8 to 5, and we can't light it up. But no, it's on polar opposite ends of the day.
Yeah.
And then Schweiss has a million kids, and, you know, you're trying to pay off this townhome, so you got like a million kids in a small place. So setting up to record, either you have to make a whole big move and come down to me.
Yeah, which I've done once.
Yeah.
Almost did for this, but then you said you were coming down, so I was like, well.
Yeah. And then, or the opposite. So.
Yeah.
It's easier for me because I have less variables for me to come up here. But still, either way. So so we had like a timeline. Like we had to be done and out of there before you had to work at like 7 or something.
Yeah. And
we had started a little later, which was a mistake. And then, it's always a mess.
So, yeah, we're looking for that little box, and it's just gone, dude. So I was like, sorry, man, we're going to have to do this another time. And apparently another time is like forever away. It was like a month and a half ago that we did this.
I was furious. I was fuming. I was bitching at Drew about it. Believe me, I was mad.
Yeah.
It's like, this motherfucker, and I'll say it to your face now, like, fucking take care of your shit, put the shit away, put it all in the same box.
Yeah.
Don't open it again until I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got to do it now for the Nude Clan shows, but
I know. I mean, maybe we should do the smaller mixer for that. I don't know. I know that's somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's still here.
But then you'd have to have the same chords and everything. So
yeah,
I don't know if that
that's
would help
why I haven't
anything.
done it, because it's the same basically. But yeah, we didn't find it, and then I went to work, and my wife texted me a picture of it later, and I was like, "What? Where was it?" And she told me it was in the corner over there, and I like couldn't believe it. I was like, "That's impossible. I can't believe that." And I was like freaking out at work. I was so mad. I was like, "There's no way it was over there.
No way we tore this room apart."
And then eventually she told me, "Oh yeah, it was in our room." So I guess one of the kids had like taken it upstairs and put it in there. But I was like, I didn't even look there. I didn't even think to look in our room. I just looked everywhere down here because usually they'll just like hide it somewhere.
So anyway, that was a month and a half ago or something.
Yeah, it might
I don't
be
even
longer.
remember now.
It's been a while.
How long it's been. So we did get the game done. We got it done in a pretty quick time. I beat that game in 2 days.
Yeah, that was.
We're going to talk about how short it is. We were ready to record, and then shit happened. So now we're here.
So it might seem like you got a long gap, and then there'll be a couple episodes near each other, but don't think that's going to be happening. So
here's the deal. I'm going to make 2 really important announcements before we start the review. The first announcement is, if we have ever owed you a Patreon invite episode, you are to get in contact with us before Final Fantasy 16's review episode comes out. And what I mean by get in contact with us, you may do it in 2 ways. If you are still a supporter on Patreon, please do it through the Patreon Messenger. If you are not, join Discord, find me, send me, Joe, a DM, and say, hey, I was a patron, and you owe me an episode invite. What's going to happen for the next little while for UFF, we are going to be taking a small break on UFF. It's just a break. We will be back. And that small break will be we can do episode invites where we talk over Zoom. And we can talk about your Final Fantasy histories. We know we owe people for that. So if you're listening and we owe you, please message us via once again, Patreon or Discord. You can message me personally. And then I'll figure it out. I'll get it lined up, and we'll do those episodes because we owe them, and we'd like to have them done and out of the way, and not owe anybody else. But we got to give you that timeline, okay? And then we're gonna come back for the Final Fantasy 16 release, which I believe is like 9 weeks away.
Is it that close?
Yeah, it's that close.
Fuck.
So,
all right, I guess we'll be back.
We have our other podcast that I have like 5 games away from beating right now, like from beating everything I need to for that podcast. And time commitment wise, it's just a little bit easier for me and I do a better job at the games if I do one game at a time.
Yeah.
So because I'm that close, I would like to just have one eye towards beating everything for Nude Clan, take a break from Nude Clan to play FF16, do a review of FF16, go back to Nude Clan, finish all the games, and then we're coming back and doing Kingdom Hearts here.
Yeah.
So,
and that'll be the only thing we're doing at that time.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think there's any other game that's coming out that I'll be doing anything with. So,
yeah. So, this is an announcement that there will be a purposeful gap in episodes unless we have episode invites, in which case we might have quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
And then we will be playing 16 as soon as it comes out. It will be focusing on that, and we'll have a review very quickly. So the other part is, like, once you finish FF16, please send us a review
or
your
fast.
questions to fffanatics123@gmail.com, or join our Discord. There's a review, or there's an area for reviews and questions, in which you can also put that same thing there. So do that, and let's get started.
Yeah. Speaking of announcements, I do want to give away a copy of 16.
Oh shit!
But we never really talked about how. We want to do that.
Well,
do you want to do it like what, reviews again? Because I bought. Yeah, we got like collector's edition level FF16 going on here. So,
oh shit!
This is going to be the last episode before that game comes out.
Oh, you don't want to do a?
I mean, I don't know. Do you want to do one?
Let's do a special.
All right, fine.
Episode.
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, we'll worry about it next time.
But get ready to do whatever we decide you must do.
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation on Twitch.
Get ready to dance to whatever tune I say for a copy of 16 Collector's Edition, because somebody ordered more than they are willing to pay for, first of all. And secondly, it's a cool giveaway.
Okay. All right.
But mostly the first thing. So, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line is a rhythm game developed by Indies Zero and published by Square Enix.
Indies Zero, because there's both an S and a Z in their
There
title.
is. It's hard
which
to...
is insane.
It's hard to pronounce that, actually. I'm going to actually look at what other games they've made. Indies Zero, naturally from Japan. Super Famicom, so they've made games back all the way into
They've been around for
1987.
a little while.
They made Melody of Memory.
Oh, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Which a game we'll have to play in the future.
Mario Party E. What's with them and like extra, like making the same? You got
These are all like little, shitware mobile title type stuff, dude.
They did Theatrhythm Final Fantasy and Curtain Call as well, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not.
Electroplankton. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Retro Game Challenge. Game Center CX Arenos Challenge 2.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, the classic Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushito.
That sounds cool.
Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training for Nintendo Switch.
Nice. Train up your brain, guys.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, they seem to be kind of like a little company that people throw stuff at that they don't want to deal with themselves.
Yeah, just like Square Enix.
Yeah. Mario Party -E, like they got a real problem with
It doesn't
letters.
even have its own Wikipedia page, so that must be some sort of mini.
Yeah, they got that, and then they have the fact that they make me say the letter S and the letter Z right after each other.
Zero.
They got a real problem on their hands with like sounds of letters being the same next to each other a little too often.
Like Schweiss, maybe?
Schweiss. Yeah.
CHWEIS? Schweiss?
Yeah, maybe I got that problem too.
Yeah, you're an Indie Zero kind of guy.
So, the game was released on the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4. It features a whopping 385 tracks spanning across the entire Final Fantasy series to date. So they got stuff in there for 15, 7 Remake, those god-awful mobile games, everything. So the game also features planned DLC packs, including entries from the Saga series, Live Alive. I thought it was Live Alive. The World Ends With You. Near the Chrono series, Octopath Traveler, Xenogears, and of course the Mana series.
Classic.
Yeah, there are an additional 2 packs that will be released later this year, but Square Enix hasn't announced what series they're going to be from. The game sold 11,565 physical copies during its first week in Japan, making it the 6th best-selling game that week, and the PS4 version sold 3,610, making it the 16th best-selling game of the week. So the game sold like shit, apparently. Ooh. That's all the sales data we have right now.
I mean, times that by... What was it? Was Japan was like 20%, so times that by 5.
Yeah,
you'll get probably what the U.S. raked in.
So like 55,000, dude. That's not very much.
Not for a Square Enix game related to Final Fantasy. Not at all.
Yeah, I really don't think they marketed this game.
That's like indie game level.
Yeah, I mean, I bet there's indie games that we play that probably sold less, but I don't know. Maybe.
That seems really low. I guess we don't know enough, but that seems really low.
Yeah, for a Final Fantasy game that's celebrating the music of the series to come out and sell that low is pretty crazy.
I guess we'll know how low it sold, whether or not it gets a sequel. But I mean, those were physical copies, so
yeah.
How many people bought a digital one anyway?
Yeah, know? That's true. That's the only numbers.
And they make more money off the digital sales, so
it's one of those things where the game's so new that it's hard to tell how much of a hit it actually is, because it's not like a huge hit. If it's a huge hit,
yeah,
like when 16 comes out, we're gonna know it's gonna be a big hit right away if it is, which I'm sure it will be. But like little stuff, it takes longer. So, that's kind of sad, but whatever. So that's pretty much the backstory.
Yeah, and we this one snuck up on us.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, suddenly there's a new Theatrhythm Final Fantasy game, and it's like, what? And it's not even called Final Fantasy.
No, it's just Theatrhythm Final Bar Line.
Yeah, should we even count it?
I was thinking about that. Every track in the original game, though, is a Final Fantasy track. So I was like, well...
Yeah, and it has Final Fantasy characters in it.
Yeah, so it counts.
It counts.
I think this is a cool idea, though, for Square to celebrate not only Final Fantasy music, but pretty much every good song they have. Because now, instead of having, releasing like Dragon Quest, Theatrhythm, whatever the hell... They can just do, okay, this is Final Bar Line. This is the last one. And now here's all the DLC. If you like this game and these songs, you can buy it.
I can't imagine that this game, if it's honestly that much man hours to put this game together in comparison to like any other game, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like 3 functions in the buttons. And
you can literally press any button and it'll do what you need it to do.
I guess we'll talk about that in gameplay. But.
Yeah, but first we got to get to the story, which of course there is none. But now we can talk about gameplay.
Oh, okay. All right. It's gameplay time.
Yeah.
It was interesting looking at this game and being like, okay, how are they going to translate Theatrhythm from the DS as we know it with the stylus, right?
Yeah.
And then bring that to like a regular ass console. And it was interesting how they did it. It was interesting. Like, I miss the stylus. I do miss the physical pressing of it.
Yeah.
But they did manage to have a pretty good system and an easier one, frankly, of just being able to... They were like, yeah, just press any button you want. It's like a combination of the button and the analog sticks. And any button, and... The analog sticks are used for the up and downs and then occasional flick motions.
Yeah.
And then the button is like when the note comes up and you're hitting the button as like part of the rhythm game experience, is like the thing is tracking from the left and right on the screen. It's just like a Guitar Hero or whatever. And you're hitting the buttons as they go along. Sometimes there'll be 2 buttons, and you have to press like X and trigger or X and circle, which is one I often do, and
sometimes there's 3.
And then like if you remember on the stylus, like one of the most painful things was like the lines,
the tracking,
tracking the swirly lines as they go up and down and you kind of have to match that. In this one, you just have the analog stick is it going up, going straight, or going down? And then you're just following the analog stick, kind of just like going with the line of it. So that's way easier. Yeah,
they fixed that problem that Curtain Call had for sure, where we would be in the middle of like Sunlit Waterscape and like one of those long ass notes, and it would just drop for no reason. It would just drop off and you'd fail.
It'd be like, oh, the stylus function of the screen just fucked up. Like it wasn't even me.
And it would happen like a lot on those long ones.
Yeah, that was the one giant flaw of Curtain Call. Was that. Everything
else about it was great.
So they fixed that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah. There was a lot of people that thought it would be weird to go from the stylus to the controller.
I'm one of those, yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I thought that for like 2 seconds, but then I was like, well, it's not like it would be weird to go from like a Guitar Hero guitar to playing it on the controller. It'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you playing it on the controller? Are you like mental? Like what the hell's the matter with you? It's a guitar. You're supposed to pretend to be playing the guitar, but like, what am I pretending to do on the stylus? Like, am I making music? Like, not really, I'm just like tap, 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 move, move, move. So it wasn't that weird of a switch in my mind, because it's not like I'm imitating actual music making as you would be with like a Guitar Hero or something like that. So it wasn't all that weird to me. There's a lot of stuff in this game. Like there's a million songs, or 385.
Plus DLC.
Yeah, plus DLC. I didn't buy any of the DLC. I don't think I probably won't.
And I won't either.
I might get maybe the later stuff, like the Mana games and stuff like that. Maybe. If I feel like reliving some of that. But So the game, it has like a quasi RPG, just like the other ones. You control a party of characters from the Final Fantasy series. Characters level up, and you get items and abilities and things that you can use both in the rounds, like in the music tracks, and then also equip your characters with abilities. And for the most part, you don't really have to worry about it until you start trying to like 100% the game, because each of the stages in the main mode that you play has like a challenge. And so there's like a little challenge that it wants you to do, and you have to complete all of those to get the platinum. And there's like, I think there's like 300 or something. And most of them are pretty easy. It's like get an 80% critical rating or whatever. And a lot of them you can just knock out. But there's ones that are crazy, like kill this boss like super, super fast. And so that's when you get into like adjusting the characters and stuff like that. And I think one of the
get their like special abilities that are better on certain bosses than others. Yeah.
I think one of them that I ended up doing was having like, I think 2 or 3 characters on Mimic. And then I would have Shantoto cast, I think it was Ultima, and like when I timed it right, you got to like get it right, because they'll activate their abilities at certain times. So sometimes you'll like blow your load a little too early. So you got to have enough power to kill the guys early and then get to the boss. Dude, I think I dealt like, it was like 90,000 or like, it was like 1 million damage to this fucking poor guy. Like I got to the X-Death fight in 5, and they all did it. She cast Ultima, and it was like ridiculous.
That's
like
kind of how you killed regular X-Death, almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Mimic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. So there's some of them you got to actually like work around party mechanics, or like look up a guide online. There's a few people that have some pretty good guides on
good
how
builds.
Yeah, good
builds.
party
builds for each boss.
Yeah, and you also earn items that you can use to quickly level up your characters. So like Cloud was one of the ones I used the whole time pretty much. And I just had like a bunch of luck plus and strength plus and all that. And I made him a complete beefcake like pretty early. So I had that extra damage. So there's all that stuff. You get item drops. You have collector cards. It's like a massive collectathon in this game. And you can farm out all of that stuff too.
Member?
Yeah. It's the member berries of the Final Fantasy.
It's the new one.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is like purely member berries.
Yeah. The gameplay is cool, though. The online is a lot of fun. I really hate the mode where you have like fuck yous is what I call them. I think they're called like power-ups or something, where like you're playing and then suddenly like, oh, there's a bunch of notes that are fake. They're fake notes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing this on like hard. Why you got fake notes? This is bullshit. My eyes can't make out like what's real and what's fake here. I'm too old, man. I'm too old and shitty at this. And so it kind of reminded me of the guitar battles in Guitar Hero, where you'd like screw the other person over for a minute. Like, oh, you can't see. It's all like blurry and whatever.
Better have your song memorized before you get in here.
Loser.
Idiot.
But the online is actually really fun. I had a lot of fun. I played against another Final Fantasy podcaster at one point too.
What?
Yeah, he was on there. I lost. I beat him once. But
who was on there?
It's the guy for that FF Weekly pod. One of the dudes.
How the fuck did that happen? And how do you know that was another podcast?
Because my Twitter is flooded with both political nonsense and Final Fantasy nonsense, like all day. And I recognized his name, and I was like, isn't that the dude from that one podcast that I've never actually listened to? And I was like, oh, shit, it is. And so I tweeted him, and I was like, whoa, look who we have here. Another Final Fantasy podcaster in the wilds. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, he's definitely better at it than me. But at the time, he had like 40 more hours in the game than I did. So I'm like, no, I don't feel too bad.
There you go. I played one match.
Online?
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, I better do one thing in every game mode so that I could say I did it, you know?
Yeah. The cool thing about the online is whatever summon card they're using, so you also have summons that you can use, and there's like 1 million different variables to the summons, and they'll have like certain abilities that they'll do. So one of them that I used a bunch when I was like level grinding is, I think it was like an Odin or a Ramu, and I had like 3 plus 30% XP boosts, and then I'd use one of the like golden egg items that you get to give you 4 times XP. So the XP was like sick. So when I was following one of the guides and I had to power level like X Death or somebody up. I've just played The Price of Freedom from Crisis Core like 4 times, and he was max. It was ridiculous. It was like 10 minutes to freaking max this guy up from 0 to everything is unlocked. Because I had like all this crazy stuff. And so when you beat someone or when you play against someone online, you get their summon card. So like whatever theirs happens to be, you now own instead of having to unlock it naturally. Oh. So that's kind of a cool feature to playing online. But there's like a million, like I said, there's a million different variables. And there's no good way to sort it either. So I'm like, when I was trying to do those challenges, dude, I was like spending so much fucking time just like, okay, I need one that gives me a shitload of summon damage, and I'm like, okay, not you, not you, not you, not you. And there's like 200 of these fucking things.
Just a million characters.
Yeah. And like, there's no, as far as I could tell, there was no way to like, okay, sort by summon power. And then it's like, boop.
Yeah, so this game, when you're going into the regular mode, which I can't even remember the name of the regular mode, but it was the series mode. Or whatever.
Yeah, series mode. That's what it was. Yeah.
So in order to officially beat the game, which is beating chaos, you have to beat, gosh, how many was it? Was it like 7?
Yeah, 7.
7 different series modes, and each series is a game.
Yep.
So it has all the main Final Fantasy games, most of the spin-offs, and then some like mobile titles where I was like, really?
Yeah. Record Keeper.
Yeah. And
those are some of the worst songs.
So what you can do, because some of the series have a bazillion songs in them.
Yeah, like 14.
Yeah.
How many times is 14 going to take all of my time? Like, I swear to God, dude. I saw that. I'm like, 28 tracks? Are you fucking serious? Once again, 14 is long-winded and long in the fucking tooth. Like, oh my God.
So there was that. But the thing was, for me, where I was like, in my mind, I kind of screwed up the game doing this, dude. I screwed up my experience of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Because I was like, oh, well, now that I know in order to get chaos, I just have to beat 7 of these. So we're going to look at the games with the least amount of tracks.
Yeah, this one's got 5.
Which, of course, are the shitty fucking spin-offs. So,
yeah.
And some of these spin-offs have original tracks. But most of them are just fucking remixes.
Yeah.
So I have, I can't remember. There was one song that was remixed like 12,000 times.
Battle on the Big Bridge is like,
that's it.
There's like 20 versions in this game.
That is
I'm
the
like,
one.
oh my God.
There's like 12 different, there's like a beatbox version. There's like a techno version. There's like fucking 5,000 versions of Battle of the Big Bridge. And I'm like, just playing the same goddamn track over and over again. It's like, oh, this is the Record Keeper version of it.
Yeah.
This is the original version of it. And then, of course, there's like another version when you unleash chaos.
Yeah.
Like you get the final, and then there's like some giant song that has other songs you've already fucking played.
And of course it's in there too. Yeah.
It's in there too. And my thing was like, if there's like, first off, love the music. Except for some of the spin-offs were boring as fuck.
Yeah.
The
Record Keeper remixes I thought sucked too.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, by the way, soundtrack still awful.
Yeah.
Still awful.
The kazoo.
The kazoo, and it's boring when you're playing it on this game in normal mode, by the way. I'm sure in hard it's like a lot more stressful, but in normal it's like like it's just 1 button, 2 button, listen to this fucking awful kazoo sound for 5 minutes.
This reedy kazoo. That's all we get.
My biggest gripe, I guess, is like the way it was organized. Because what I would have liked to have seen was only original tracks. And you can hire me if you want Infogrames or whatever the fuck your name is. Indies Zero. Indies Zero, thank you. You can hire me for this, by the way, Indies Zero. Because what would have been cool is if you got a high score on a certain song, you would get the remix of that song from some other game.
Yeah.
And then you could build up for that. And instead of just like, oh, this is, I guess, technically Record Keeper's song, but it's just another FF song. So,
yeah, there's that, and then there's also the categorization and the like chronicling of the of the songs was kind of annoying as well, because you would have like Final Fantasy Tactics and you'd have like the intro song, and it's not under the Final Fantasy Tactics section, it's under the Theatrhythm section. So instead of like, okay, I want to play the little pre-battle theme, the little bam bam bam, doo 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 doo, you know, but I can't find it because it's hiding in the Theatrhythm tracks, not where it belongs in the Final Fantasy Tactics section, where it should be. So like, that's a problem I have with the game.
Oh yeah, the Theatrhythm remix.
And then I also really think the Record Keeper remixes are bad. Because like I'm trying to play a rhythm game, like where tempo and like all that, you got to like get into the song to really start hitting the notes properly. And those tracks are like postmodern filth, man. They like slow down and speed up and slow down and speed up, and it's all over the place. And you can't like get into the groove of the track. And so I'm like, these are miserable, dude. And like, there's a battle. Oh man, I swear to God, there's a Battle of the Big Bridge from one of those games, and I'm like, oh, this is the worst version of this song. It's a misery to play. And they're kind of cool sounding, I guess, but you know what I mean. Like you're trying to like get the timing down and like do good on the song. But like the timing, that doesn't make any sense because it's a remix and it's all over the place and it's zany and crazy, and I hate it. So I really didn't like some of the remixes. I think there's probably 3 too many versions of Battle on the Big Bridge in this game. It's like, surprise, Final Fantasy V.
Or of the Kefka final boss.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those
too.
That was
one where there was a bunch of them. So anyway, I screwed myself. I played a bunch of like mediocre Final Fantasy tracks.
Yeah.
And then like the only full-on Final Fantasy I played through, which was nice listening to the music again, was FF2.
Yeah, FF2 is great.
Like I went through, I mean, fuck, there's so many great tracks in Final Fantasy, so it's not bad playing like honestly, a pretty fun little rhythm game.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the other Theatrhythms, only on a controller now.
I played a lot. I played this game for like 60 hours, dude.
I know, but you platinumed it.
I did.
I didn't. I beat it, and then I went into every mode for a little while, and then I was like, oh, I should probably put in a couple more hours of just like fucking around, which I did. And so I played, like, I opened up FF6 and played a little bit, and then opened up another game. I tried to open up all the games.
Yeah.
Because you're only given, you can open up like, I think you open up like 4 at the beginning, but then you actually have to play through.
At least halfway, I think.
It's like a third of the way. There's like a treasure chest you can open up somewhere along the track, and that opens up a new thing you can spend on opening up another game.
Yeah, so you don't have to do all of it.
No, you don't. You do have to beat 7 of them.
Yeah.
In order to
any 7,
quote unquote, beat the game.
And to beat the game, I used a couple of the little guys as well. I was just doing my favorite ones. So I think I started with like 7. I did 12. So I'm a simp for 12.
Yeah.
Not as great.
And then you're like, the music's not quite as good, is it?
No. But one thing I will say this game revealed to me is that they were kind of genius with the FF12 soundtrack, because if you go and play the Tactics songs, like it fits the world of Tactics like really well.
Interesting.
Now that is also saying that Tactics doesn't have that great of a soundtrack either, which it kind of doesn't, but it's a little lower.
Well, here's the thing. When we say not as great, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
And 12's soundtrack is also not bad.
There's some really good songs on there, but
it's not Nobuo Uematsu. It's not Yoko Shimomura.
Yeah.
It's not even Soken level.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's kind of down there.
So
13 is also a soundtrack that's grown on me.
Yeah.
Through the years, where I'm like, I used to kind of like love-hate this soundtrack, and now I'm like, I'm definitely more on the love side. It's still not as good.
No, it's down there. It's down there with like 12 and those,
but there's definitely like great things about 13 soundtrack.
Yeah, and the thing I like the most about this game is, like, as cynical and as negative as we could be sometimes, like, there's no doubt that this is the music in these games is like incredible.
Yeah,
it's unparalleled with anything else. I think by far, there's not a single series out there that's anywhere near. Even then, there's the sheer volume of tracks. And like I mean, I was going through these games. Like there's one It's like the Final Fantasy V. I think it was like Welcome Home or something along those lines. And I was like, I played that song like a bunch of times because for one of the trophies, you have to get a perfect chain overall, not like the first time or not like in one round, but the songs are broken up into chunks and you have to like get a perfect chain eventually over each of the chunks. And so I just picked songs that I really, really loved. And that one from 5 was like amazing. And I'm like reminded of all these just great tracks. And FF8 soundtrack was actually pretty damn fun. It was really good in this game. And
that's one of my least favorite Nobuo ones. But
yeah, it is. But I was like, it's still great. And FF9, amazing. Like classic. So I played the shit out of this thing, man. I had a great time. Now when I platinumed it, I did throw it away like a dirty rag. But yeah, I'm done with you now. I've blown my load. Get away from me.
Don't touch me.
Yeah,
I don't cuddle.
Don't touch me. I'm trying to sleep. Actually, I guess I just do that anyway. But I was really enjoying it, and like I think there's some really great tracks on here. And like
yeah, there's some really good ones.
Yeah, I think the ones I 100%ed were the main theme of FF9, both versions. There's like a chorus version of it where instead of just like the it's like it's like a weird acapella, but not.
Okay.
Like that one was awesome. So I did both of those versions. I did Terra's theme. I think I did the one from FF5 and Cosmo Canyon, which is fucking amazing. That's like top 10. It's just way too much. Yeah. When I first played that, I was like, man, I feel like I need to have a cigarette. It's like just this town in the middle of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? Like the best track I've ever heard. And it's just this little freaking town, man, with like nothing technological except for this big ass telescope and cool space room.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason for this.
It's great for reminiscing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a great song it's a great game for reminiscing. I would have played more of it. But I was you were in. We talked about it. We talked about it when we started here. We're trying to finish the other video game podcast that we've had going on for years. It's closer to finishing. So we're like, well, we could finish that one faster if we just put all of our effort into that. And then we can do this and then put all of our effort into this. So in my mind, I was like, okay, Theatrhythm's done. I'll play it for a few more hours just to play around and not just be trying to beat it, which is because this game's not a game you're there to beat. This is a time waster.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know if it's because I played it on the PS5. I don't know if it's a great game for the PS5. I think because you got to open up the game and then you got to like go like PS5 is kind of like you're there on the couch. You're there to play a game.
Yeah.
The Switch, however, that it also came out on, it seems perfect for that.
Yeah.
The Switch is like a game console you could literally just put on the bathroom shelf and you can play when you're taking a shit.
And that's basically what this game is. You play it in like 3-minute chunks. Now, admittedly, I played it in like hour-long versions of that. But the proper way to play it, I think, would be to just pick it up, play a couple tracks, and then go do whatever you're supposed to do.
Just like the DS, like if you're a kid around at school or whatever.
Yeah.
During lunchtime, you pull out the DS.
Yeah, you get 15, 20 minutes in, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perfect version of this. So I almost bought it for the Switch. I would have had to have found my Switch. Of course, it's propping up something in this house. I know where it is. I'm kidding. I would have then had to have charged the controller that actually works and the Switch itself, which is a lot of work. Charging two things at once. Yeah, I'm like, the controller.
Do you remember that time the Switch scared the crap out of me? Because I hadn't played it.
And it wouldn't turn on? Yeah, mine does that too. Mine does that too sometimes. And it's like, I plug it in and it just refuses.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back like a day later and it's like, oh yeah, hi, you want to play? I was like, oh yeah, kinda. I was kind of trying to start Mana and you scared the shit out of me.
I had plugged mine in for days. I had to do, so, I mean, you had to find this, in case anybody at home ever deals with this, I hope you remember this, okay? When you put away the Switch for months and months. So it was like, I don't know, like a year maybe. That the Switch was just uncharged, sitting in my room.
Yeah.
In a box. And then I took it to Colorado with me. And I was like, okay, I got all my game stuff set up. Everything's got a place. It's all plugged in. Tried to turn on the switch, and there was nothing. And then I left it there overnight and for like days. And I'm like, is the thing never going to charge?
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, did I brick the switch by not having it ever be on for months and months? Like, what happened? I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And it took a while. Like, I had to put the right combination of search terms in Google and multiple attempts of just being like, what is going on? And someone deep in a forum was like, you factory reset by holding the button down for 20 minutes. So try charging it for a long time and then holding the button down. No, not 20 minutes. It was like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
20 minutes, yeah. My thumb hurts.
Yeah. Come on!
Factory reset, you shit.
Yeah.
No, you hold it down. So you have to charge it like I was charging it. So it was being charged, but like the console wasn't recognizing the fact that it was being charged. And so I guess if you factory reset after having charged it over like a day, then it will like reset its whole like system, and it will recognize that there's power there. And so
did it delete all your stuff on there?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
I must have done the same thing then.
It was a reset of the fact that it was like, oh, I'm in power save turn off mode or something.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just like it's either a glitch or something going on, but
don't say it's a glitch. I mean,
I have no idea.
We can't hate on Nintendo anymore.
But I mean, like that scared me.
Yeah, no,
That
it's
scared the
a
shit
pricey console that I don't want to buy.
Yeah,
so
I won't buy that again. I mean, it's not pricey in comparison to the PS5,
but that's something I wanted though.
Yeah.
This would be an undesired expense.
I don't know if the UFF people know at home the constant because
bashing on
the
Nintendo
constant
that
bashing
we do.
on the Switch that we've been doing for months.
Yeah.
All the controller drift, and then we always get some comment somewhere being like, just so you know, you could send it back to Nintendo, and for $7 they'll fix it for you.
Yeah, $7 and 5 months of your time.
And then you can have it back in 3 months. It's like, oh my gosh!
But then it'll do it again. But hey, you can still send it in.
But the funny thing though is that I have had drift in my PS5.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, but it seems like with the PS5 controller, it seems like a software thing.
Yeah.
Because it's random, and it seemed to be with certain games, and I think there's just too much technology going into the controllers right now.
Yeah.
And so there's always like, there's things messing up. That's what I think is going on with the PS5. Now with the Nintendo Switch, I think it's a cheap plastic thing that's going to easily just be like yanked too far with your thumbs when you're playing something.
Yeah, for sure. It's hardware on their end.
So.
But you could buy a Pro controller. I mean, you could always buy it.
Oh, that's the joke. It's like, as soon as you, why don't you just buy a Pro controller?
Yeah.
It's like they've been hypnotized by Nintendo basically.
To just spout.
To sell pro controllers.
Yeah. They just spout
buy a Pro controller.
Their Nintendo platitudes at you.
It's only $90 for a Pro controller.
Yeah.
Why don't you just, if you're having trouble with drift on the regular controllers, you could buy this extra thing, or you can pay for Nintendo to fix the problem.
They
cause.
I can't believe how many times I've been screaming on Nude Clan about this, because I'm like, it's like, because then it always happens. They're like, oh, just buy the Pro. And I'm like, oh my God, do you not hear yourself? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just buy the Pro. The thing was already $300. Can I at least get one controller that works? Come on, go buy the Pro. Go fuck yourself. Like, and it's not like, oh, you'll get your money's worth. It's like, no, I won't. I've played like 7 games on there.
Okay, so I have all the 3 modern consoles.
Yeah.
The Xbox is the only one that has not given me problems on the controller.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't played it as much, though, either.
True.
I'm surprised your PS5 had problems. Mine are all still good. I haven't had any
Again,
issues.
I think it's a software thing. It was like Final Fantasy 14 would get it a lot. Kingdom Hearts would get it a lot. Luckily, God of War never got it.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
That would have been so bad.
So you're already streaming it.
Yeah.
And then the problems.
Hopefully the new God of War doesn't give me problems, because that's on our list to play.
Yeah.
But and Theatrhythm didn't give me any problems.
Yeah, good thing on this one too. That could screw you up.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
with the squiggly lines. And be like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. No, stop it.
Yeah.
I didn't press anything. I swear to God.
Yeah, that could have been rough.
But no, I thought it was fun, and it was fun to relive all the great music, and it definitely look the fact that it's almost been 9 years since we started the show, which means it's been almost 9 years since I played FF1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which I believe were the ones that we beat in that first year. Shit, did we beat more than that in the first year?
I mean, we started in May.
We were like
so-
one every month and a half or something is what we averaged.
Yeah. The first two
So
episodes.
I think it was the first 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We beat 2 in like a week.
Yeah.
I can't believe we put in that much time
In the beginning. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Because that was a 20-hour game. 24 hours, I think, is what your time was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, it did make me feel really nostalgic, and I was like, there's definitely a part of me that wants to go back and just play the favorites. I don't know if I would go back and play all of them again.
Yeah, definitely not all. Maybe like all the main line would be cool.
Yeah, maybe all the main line and then replace 11 with 10-2. But then I had the feeling I was like, well, I would beat 11 and 14 really quickly if I were to replay just the first thing that they had when the game was released, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh, maybe I could do the Windhurst.
Yeah, do the different town.
Yeah, do a different town.
Yeah, the other ones all have better soundtracks too. We chose
We chose Bastock.
worst.
It was dumb.
the worst soundtrack at the very least.
So anyway, I enjoyed the game. I did. I never got into the depth of like getting my party perfect so that it could beat the bosses in the background while you're playing the song. I never got into the details of that because I knew I didn't have to. I mean, I was afraid of like, oh, what if the chaos guy is this? But it never was. It was just beat the song. So I did. Here's another like negative. Here's another gripe about the gameplay. The difference in difficulty between normal and hard. Or expert, I mean. That's a pretty good jump. I was like just gobsmacked when I was like, well, normal's really easy, so I'll move up to hard or the next level.
Yeah.
And it was like like there wasn't a gray area. So, and then the really hard one after that. I don't know if it's exponential or if it's just like a slight step above. You tell me.
It's a lot. I did it on the second one for most of the game. At first I was just doing all normal because I was like, oh, this is fine. And then I went to the next one. And I was like, oh, now it's actually kind of fun because I actually have to, hit some stuff. And then the one after that was pretty crazy because there were a couple challenges I had to do where I had to beat it on ultimate or like get a certain score on ultimate, and those ones were, or whatever, like madness is the one above number 2, the third stage.
Okay, so it's
basic,
easy, normal, or is it basic, normal?
It's basic, ultimate.
Normal.
I think is what they call it,
I thought it was basic, normal, expert,
maybe I don't
ultimate?
remember.
Okay,
There
was 4 levels.
There's 4, yeah. The second one I did a lot of the game with, probably like half of it.
Okay, that's the one I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one's really easy, but
It's
it
too
is
easy.
a
It's so easy it's boring.
It is a big jump though.
Yeah.
It's like a lot more than you'd expect. But there were a couple songs I had to do, like one of the Battle on the Big Bridges I had to do on the third one, and that was really rough. And I just had to survive. That was the mission.
Yeah.
It was just survive.
It was always tough. I mean, I was able to do a couple songs in the harder difficulty.
Yeah.
One, because I only chose them when I knew the song really well.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, if I didn't know every single beat of that song, I'm not playing that thing on the harder difficulty. Like, it's not happening because I'm not going to know the rhythm of like the hits.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
think I
easier
did
when you
Cosmo Canyon.
instinctually have that,
I think I did Cosmo Canyon on all of them.
I believe that. I could
heard it
probably do
enough.
that one.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. That is one of the weird things about this game is it gets like way, way harder when you go up a little bit. You're like, oh, I could probably do this. You're like, oh, shit. This is crazy. Like you got like 2 notes at once. You got 1 note and then one little flicky thing.
Yeah, but you could use either either analog stick for the flicky.
Yeah, what did I use? I ended up using the controller triggers a lot by the end because whenever I would have like
I did X and circle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whenever I had like
I just rolled the thumb.
Yeah. Whenever I would have like a long note and then I knew there was another long note, I would just do like R2, R1, R2. Because then I could easily let go of one if I had to. Because on the harder difficulties, they'll do the stuff where it's like you got a long, drawn out note, and then you have another one midway through, and then you have to let go that second one, and then like tap single notes after. And so I would the triggers just made more sense to me. So I started using them for pretty much everything by the end.
You got to work on your fingering.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, you got to get your technique down.
Yeah. Got my sweet picking, you know.
Yeah, and I use my tongue to flick, you know.
Yeah, I just hold it up, just like, flick that bean.
And
That's a big one, man.
I never referred to the analog stick as a bean, but that's maybe the PSP analog stick. I would refer to that as the bean.
Yeah, that's a fun way to play. Yeah, do the old flickaroo.
Yeah, you're really working out that tongue.
Yeah,
for eating mangoes later or something.
Yeah, Is this what we would call an engorged analog stick or what? Like, this thing's intimidating.
So anyway, one of the things I thought was funny was like the game was like, there's only 3 functions, like any button you want.
Choose your own button.
However, you can't do the clicks for the analog.
Yeah.
Like an L3 click, like I couldn't do that.
That would be kind of fun because then it's like
there's like click,
an actual
click,
input.
Click, flick. You know, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do the click flick. You know.
Yeah.
I couldn't be clicking that flick, flicking that click. You know.
Yeah. Give the old flick.
And and then one of my favorite things is like it'll have analog. It'll say analog stick. You know, like upper left to lower left, and then the opposite on the other analog stick, and then it'll do it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Or it'll do the opposite. But actually the opposite, because it could be either analog stick, you could just do the same motion twice in a row.
Yeah.
It was like one of those like, why even do that? Like, why even giving me the option to do that?
Those would fuck me up the most. And it's probably because like my brain couldn't handle that it was telling me to do the same thing pretty much.
Yeah, you could do the same thing because it didn't matter which analog stick you were doing. Even though you were moving, you got to move these sticks in opposite directions. It's like, no, you don't, because it'll register it as either or.
Yeah, and someone was saying that when I was streaming, and they're like, just so you know, with those double like flick things, it doesn't matter where you go. I remember
because like the first time it came across, I was like, hold on a second. I think I could do this the same way. And then I did, and I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
So funny little things like that in this game. Just based upon its like old like arcadey simplicity.
Right.
But yeah, the music is 10 out of 10.
Oh, for sure.
Except for
some of the remixes, yeah.
And of course the games with lesser soundtracks are still in there, but I mean, like, it makes up for it with a bazillion. I mean, I would love every soundtrack to be in this game. Like, there was a Mortal Kombat game that came out called Armageddon, I think it was. It was like one of the last Mortal Kombat games in like the realm of like mediocre 3D Mortal Kombat games before Mortal Kombat 9 came out, and it was like, oh, Mortal Kombat's back, you know?
Yeah.
But it had literally every Mortal Kombat character ever in it. And it was just like, if you wanted the ultimate Mortal Kombat game, this was the game. And so I appreciated it about that game. It was like, oh, I could definitely play. I could play as Noob and Smoke and all these guys that would just like be in one game.
Yeah, select games. Yeah.
And I just wish that this game was that. You know, I think there's 200 tracks for FF9.
Yeah.
Why not give them all? Have the main ones and then have the other ones like be unlockable in like these tree branches.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Even the not
I mean, it would
hits.
be a massive game, but what they could have done is had a huge advertising campaign of like literally every Final Fantasy song ever.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been cool, but you know, they never quite satisfy me with my completionist side. You know, I need that. I'm like, give it all of it.
Yeah, why is it not all there? Yeah.
Hey, why?
That's the problem with buying like DVD sets or Blu-ray sets to things that aren't done yet. It's like, wow, I got that one asshole sitting next to the big box set.
Oh, I have that with my James Bond.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's what you. So you got the James Bond collection that I bought after Spectre, and then No Time to Die is like next to it, just like hanging out. Oh, I got the same thing with Mission Impossible. I bought the first 5 Mission Impossible movies, and then I had to buy Fallout. I'm like, I can't not buy Fallout because I have the other 5.
Yeah.
You know, I love Fallout, so it wasn't a hard
Is
choice.
Spectre in your box set? Is that a part of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it weird too, where it's like they just threw it in like for the hell of it, kind of? Because that's what it looks like on mine. Because it doesn't list it on the. It's not listed, but it's in there.
What? It's not listed?
Yeah, it's weird. Like there's something weird about the listing of the movie, and it's like all the other ones are like, oh, here's 007, and it's just like that classic look, and then the Spectre one's just straight up the Blu-ray with him with the gun. It's like they didn't plan to put it in the collection,
mine.
And they're like, let's throw it in.
They're like, well, we just printed these off, so do we lose a whole bunch of money? Print off new DVDs or Blu-rays, I mean, or do we just use the stock we have of Spectre? And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So yeah, there's something weird with it, but yeah, that's always annoying.
I mean, isn't there something there's like the OCD part of me that just likes things to be neat and like prepped and have everything match, you know? So like there's definitely like I don't love when things are just in random spots. Like with these Final Fantasy games, it's like, you know, why can't they just all just be Roman numeral, never made a spin-off? And
clean,
you know, and then they put the FF9 like when you stack it in the PS1 ones where it's like, why does FF9 have to have a fuck off logo on the side of the box?
Yeah, why'd they have to do that?
Why'd
just
they do that?
Keep it the same, keep it clean.
So it's like, just have a look, stay consistent with it. You know, like Steve Jobs, like that guy had like a thing. He's like, all our shit matches.
Yeah,
all of it matches. Why? Anyway, I actually have like, I work at a company. We make backpacking gear, and I have that same thing where I'm like, we have old product that doesn't really match our newer stuff, and that stuff just like drives me up a wall. Like that when they have a new design, it's like, you know, they're doing it more and more. So in my company, they're like working on making a look. But at some point when the company was newer and they were like a little cottage brand, it was just like random ass like ways of designing things.
Yeah.
And now they're like working on a look. So now we can have like, oh, we have a color swatch. Oh, we have a brand guideline that tells us exactly what fonts we can use and like which colors we use for all of our stuff. And it's like, it's so, you know, like
squared away.
Squared away, you could say, yes. And like now we can, you know, get a swatch of just like, these are the 10 colors that we sell all of our clothing or what, even if we only have 2 different colors of like a certain jacket, like it's still within the swatch collection or whatever. So it's like little things like that I think are just not taken into account sometimes by companies. And that's one of them where it's like, you like just make a match.
Yeah.
Fucks.
I know, it's dumb.
Just make a match so it looks good on the wall. Like there's nothing broken here. Don't fix it. There's like oh dude, I have the special 3D editions of the Hobbits, like the extended editions of the Hobbit movies. Because by the way, say what you will about the Hobbit movies themselves. The behind the scenes documentaries are extensive and amazing, and I highly recommend them. That's why I bought them, was for the behind the scenes stuff. There is one where the Blu-ray logo is like 4 pixels up from the others as I'm looking at them from the side. And I'm like, Why?
Who did this?
Who did this? With the jacket maker at Warner Brothers was just like, I guess they hired a new guy. It was to hire a new guy. It's for the last one. That's what it was. It was like the first two matched perfectly. And then the third one is just like the logo's just like slightly off. And it's like a different JPEG image because it's like clearer looking too. And like the other two were a little blurrier looking. And every time I see it, I get mad. I look at my DVD shelf and I'm like, what little fuck?
Who did this?
What the little fuck printed this off and approved it? Like, and when you stack them up next to each other, it's like, oh, we just printed 6 million of these. I guess we can't go back on this. We're just gonna leave it.
Like, where's the quality control, man? Come on.
Yeah, what the fuck? That one drives me up a wall, dude. What if you come over to my place sometime? I'm gonna show you. Like, look at these Hobbit movies. Now, these are the regular Blu-rays, and they all match. These are the extended special editions 3D versions of the Blu-rays. What is that? There's something out of place here. Could you spot it?
Yeah.
Easily. Unfortunately, super easily. You'd be like, there's that Blu-ray logo. It's fucking... just, oh my God, it is off. And I'm wondering, now that I'm saying it, I'm wondering if it's like the actual brand Blu-ray. I wonder if they had like a branding guideline thing change. And then they were forced to do that.
They might have.
Maybe. It still pisses me off.
Yeah. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I want all my PS1 games up on the wall to all be regular, not greatest hits for the consistency.
Oh, because you don't like that one green stripe I can see right in the middle?
Nope, I don't like that Final Fantasy one I've never been able to find, not greatest hits.
Final Fantasy Origins?
I think it is Origins, yeah.
Oh, okay.
1 and 2.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
Jake has it. I'll make him put it in his will.
In his will?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he's going to write a will?
Kaleb gets fine. That's the only thing that'll be in there. It's just the one thing for me.
Kaleb gets my black label.
And I can finally cast that into the fire like where it belongs.
Cast the green mark. I don't give a shit if there's green, dude. I don't give a fuck. If you had a few green up there, it wouldn't be a big deal. The fact that you just have one in a sea of black, when I'm looking at it, it's like a good 4.5 foot line of PlayStation 1 games here that we're looking at, and one like 1.5 foot in nice little green stripe.
Yeah, I've got more green ones behind it, but I've replaced them with a black label. It's like my FF7 and 9 I rebought.
Oh, shit.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, it wasn't that bad?
They were only like 25.
Fuck, dude. So how much the world has changed since we started this podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Like how much we had to like track down games. Oh my God.
I know. The FF7 I found is the same one that I sold you too, with the weird like misprint on the back where the two letters are like stuck together.
I bought it for $50.
I know. I spent a lot less than $50 on it.
Like once you remake a game,
that was $50 back then.
Once you make a game available on like the Steams and the PlayStation networks and whatever of the world, the price of the actual physical thing goes down. Yeah.
And that, like I said, that PC version of 7 that I found at DI and I sold it for $75. That was before the Steam version came out, though.
It used to be more than that, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. It was crazy. But now that it's on Steam, it's like, why would you play it on PC, not on Steam?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how things have gone. Like the fact that the pixel remasters for the first 6 games, there was some talk of this in the forums this morning, or in the Discord, I mean. Don't join our forums. They're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead, and they've got bots like running through and doing dirty things, and I can't even log into that thing to
really?
shut it down.
Wow.
So hopefully I didn't like say the N-word somewhere in the forum. Like, yeah, someone will track it down someday.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever write that. But it's... What was I talking about? I got distracted by the forum thing.
Cleanliness.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a cleanliness, but they were talking about it in the Discord. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
FF1 through 6.
That's right.
In the Pixel Remastered. Like one case to me, even though I guess like there's the fonts or whatever are screwed up with it. fonts aren't a big. I think you'll get used to a font pretty quickly when you're playing a game, even though you want it to have the old look. Clearly.
Yeah,
but everything else I think looks pretty good in those pixel remasters. And I'm like, if you're gonna play, like, at least you don't have to track down 6 different versions of these games. And like FF5 was like, oh, it only came out once at that point. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You only have the PlayStation 1 remaster. That's it. That's the only version of 5 you can play. And the only version of 3 was the remake on the DS, which now I'm sure that's the hard one to get, right?
Yeah, probably.
So it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how this company does not. I guess the funny thing is this kind of happened with movies too, where they didn't, like, during the sound or during the silent era, movies were this like just thing that they churned out to, you know, sell and to just have people watch and just be like, just a quick entertainment thing. And that's kind of how games have been seen. But now we're far enough into gaming that there are games that are considered classic, right?
Yeah.
And so now there's like an effort to save old games. And these companies that didn't give a shit when they were we're onto the new system now. Everything else is old news.
Yeah.
Now there's finally, over the last few years, there's been more of an effort to take, and obviously this has been made possible by PlayStation Network and Steam and stuff like that, where you can get things digitally, but it's like now there's more of an effort to like bring those old games and not have them just be like
lost in time.
In time, yeah. Which is so. It's tough with games because it's all coding, and then when you come up with the new system, then the code changes literally how the game reacts to the system. That
I'm sure it's not as easy as we all make it sound. Like, why can't you just put them all on there? It's like there's probably a lot more to it than just slapping that shit on a Blu-ray instead of a DVD or.
There's more to. I mean, there's more to that too. Like with physical film. Yeah. It'll be easier in the digital era to deal with that.
It would be nice, though, I mean, if we re-released everything. And then they would continue to make money. But you got to wonder, though, if they're not doing that, how much money do they think they'll actually make? You know?
Yeah, that's what they always have to consider. It's like,
are we going to make money on this, or is it going to be a waste?
Yeah.
With FF, it's not going to be a waste.
And with a lot of companies, like more streamlined companies, like companies that are better with their money, they always go for like what gives them the biggest ROI. And it's like, okay, well, maybe this will give us like a 20% profit, but we could be getting 5x if we put the same resources into this.
Yeah.
So I know they're dealing with that sort of decision making.
Yeah, that's true too.
But still.
Yeah.
Square.
And you would get money off of it as opposed to people just buying used games, because you don't make any more money when I buy a used game. True. You already made it the one time.
Dude, I think like one game that if they just remastered Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2 and just put that shit out, they'd make like there's millions of dollars right there.
Yeah. Easily.
From all these like Square guys.
Yeah. They're out there.
So
yeah, among us.
I know because they talk to me
about how good Parasite Eve 1 is.
Well, they're either like, or I think with Parasite Eve, it's like, unfortunately, I have played it, and I've played Third Birthday. I just beat it, and unfortunately, I know it's like, well, it's not bad. I would never say it's bad, but it's definitely not one of the great Square Co. games.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's one because the cover art, it's just so classic Square looking. You're like, it must be one of those masterpieces. It must be.
Yeah.
Before you touch it. I feel like it's a lot of people who've just never played it and they think it's going to be one of those things. But look, our podcast only has so many listeners. Okay?
Yeah.
Square, all right? I'm not gonna take away too much of your profits if you put out like Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2 in like a dual pack.
Yeah, I know your feeling. I mean, I had the same thing when I bought Secret of on PS1? Secret of Mana?
Secret of Mana.
Or Legend?
That one's Legend.
Okay, Legend of Mana. When I bought that.
Secret of Mana is one of great ones.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's the Super NES.
Yeah.
When I bought Legend of Mana, it was that same feeling. I'm like, this must be like a classic, like a like a Square Enix masterpiece hiding in the rough. And it's like, no, it's rough hiding in the rough. And that's why I was able to buy it, because nobody wanted it.
Because once they played it, they were like, this sucks.
Oh, fuck this.
I'll give it to you for $6. Get it off my land.
Yeah. So like I've had that experience with that. And then there's some where they are actually great, like Vagrant Story.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, where they are those hidden gems that no one talks about that are great.
Yeah.
But more often than not, they're not talked about because
I feel like there might be something to say about nowadays. I think if the game is expensive, there's a pretty good chance that it might be a decent game. But like Legend of Mana being only like $20-$30 or whatever. But then in the future we got a Xenogears, and those are always like $50 for the used copy at the game store.
They're pricier, yeah.
So
that might be a
good game. Who knows?
Or any like hyper German,
Erges
and Einhander.
Of course, hold on. I take all that back. We had a Chocobo game that was $150.
Dude.
I take all of it back. Everything I just said was the dumbest thing ever.
It's not that pricey anymore, which like destroys
me.
me.
Bought the expensive ones?
I guess I must have, because now they're like $50.
When people went online, they were like, I guess no one's selling this. I'll put this out for less.
Yeah.
Schweiss bought the ones that were listed really high.
Yeah,
we're
dude.
clogging the market.
Yeah, someone had like a monopoly of the 2 copies that
Did
exist.
I give you that copy back?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I thought I was planning on it. I was just going to give it back to you, and then you could sell it again.
Yeah, but now I'm sad because I'm going to have to sell it for like nothing. I spent a lot of money.
Profit.
I mean, I just want to break even. I've spent $120 on that thing.
Jesus.
But yeah, that's true. That one is another not great.
So I would love for Square to just put all the songs, like literally put all the songs on there.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And just be like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And then it could just be the song dump, the song dump game. Just put the main series out, and then every game after that would be the DLC,
Yeah.
Put all the spin-offs out.
I think it'd be a moneymaker, and you're right. I can't imagine this being that expensive to program and stuff now that they've kind of laid the ground floor.
I bet you could do like, there's going to be an animation guy, and there's got to be a guy who codes the actual game. And then maybe like a playtester. Yeah, like 3 guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Just put them on. And if they could have made this game so much bigger too. Like if they had taken that direction where it was like the ultimate Final Fantasy music game.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
I would have been like, whoa.
And then you still would have played like
they're kind of trying to sell it that way, but it's like 385 tracks, and I'm like, come on. That's not all the tracks.
Yeah, that's like half of the main series, maybe.
Yeah.
So
whatevs.
Yeah. And they even had Stranger of Paradise stuff in here, like, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Like
Did I play? Yeah, I played some Stranger of
I
Paradise.
think it was in the final
music.
level.
Yeah.
The Theatrhythm chunk.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was cool. Best vocal track in the series.
Yeah,
in that game,
Still a classic Frank Sinatra track. Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome.
That'll do it.
That was so ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? I think it's perfect, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of perfect.
play that game.
You know what's funny? Looking back at that game, I love it more.
Yeah, I know.
In hindsight.
Normally, I get like more and more downhill. Like when I think about Crisis Core, I hate it more and more.
Yeah.
But like Stranger, it gets better without even touching it. I just think it back.
Apparently, all the fast forwarding was a glitch, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It happened so much.
That's hilarious that was a glitch. I thought it was
all of it was
part of it. I was like, these guys are crazy.
Hilarious how glitchy that game was. Like
Yeah.
8 months out of it being released.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I kind of wish it was just intended, and they just did weird shit all the time.
It's just weird fucking.
Like, yeah, hurry up, get through the story shit.
Yeah,
we want to go
this.
kill.
Yeah, give him the egg. Just throw it at him.
Yeah, yeah. Give him the egg. Now go punch. Go smash.
Yeah. Oh, do your high five in midair or your fist bump in midair thing.
Yeah.
In fast motion.
That was hilarious. Yeah, this the fast forward fist bump.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's just reminisce about Stranger of Paradise for another half hour.
The last review we did.
Yeah. This game is good. I don't think it's worth $50.
Yeah.
I think it's
a little
worth
pricey.
Brand new, I think it was worth $30. This game, when it hits $20, totally worth it. It's just it's not a full enough game.
Yeah. I mean, I put a lot of time into it, but I kind of agree.
Yeah.
It's not a game you charge full price.
No. And they didn't. It was $50.
Yeah.
But that's still...
It's still close enough.
Yeah.
That used to be full price.
It's close
on
enough.
PS2.
It's close enough to 60 where I'm like, I guess now games are 70, but in my mind, they're 60 brand new.
Yeah, because it still says $69.99. It's the 6 is still there.
Oh, the 6 is still there.
Yeah, to trick you into thinking it's the same.
Even though it was $59.99 before. But in I guess you spend enough time with that number over 3 generations of gaming that
Yeah.
Which is crazy because that means like it was so expensive during like the PS3 era.
Yeah, PS2.
Was PS2 50 when they were brand new?
I think it was 49, yeah. And 59 for PS3.
And it was 59 for PS4 as well.
Yeah, and then 69.
So really we just got lucky for 20 years that they didn't raise it by $10.
Yeah.
So
and
now it's calling in. Now it's
a lot. Yeah, you're like, damn, this is getting close to $100 just to buy a new game. Stuff I don't like seeing that 70 on there. That's crazy.
Is one of those things. Like, yeah, we're looking at it as a huge price jump, and it is from like the year before, but not if you take it all into account.
No, it's actually less. Yeah,
No,
it's like the people crying about the PS3 cost when it came out. It's like, you guys realize like the consoles that you grew up on were more brutal at the time than the PS3 is right now. The dollar amount's higher, but the dollar is also worth like not nearly as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
So like like the first few consoles, ridiculous, like $1,000 plus.
Yeah, what it would be now was something ridiculous, but I think the NES was like $200.
Yeah, at the time,
which that's a chunk of change.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. It was like $700.
What I always think about is like a computer costs less now.
Yeah,
in modern dollars. Yeah. Than it did in 1999.
Yeah.
Because in 1999, a base bitch-ass computer was $2,000. It was a huge investment to get a computer.
Yeah. It's crazy how it drops.
So.
And I mean, the one I built that was a monster for like 4 straight years was $2,000.
Yeah.
And that was a lot for me.
Yeah. A $2,000 computer is like top of the line now.
Yeah, it's
not the fucking compact PC my mom had. Like, knowing that thing was $2,000 was like, I can buy a shitty laptop for $200 and it has more processing power than that thing.
Oh yeah, your watch probably has more processing power.
Oh,
than
it does
that thing.
for sure. My watch is $400.
Yeah, that's fair.
In case anybody wants to rob me.
Yeah, just take the watch. The wallet's empty.
Yeah,
because he had to buy the watch.
It was actually a bonus at work. I only had to pay $60 for it.
Oh, really? Jesus.
Yeah, they had like we got a bonus and then we got a store credit bonus.
Nice.
And they want you to like fill out your backpacking gear. So when you go on the backpacking gear trips, you have your own gear. But I was like, I want that watch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I would like that watch.
Yeah.
And
I know it's not your brand, but it's mine now.
Yeah, but we retail it. So
there you go.
But yeah, this is a solid game.
No, I liked it. Yeah.
I don't have too much to say about it besides like it's fun, time waster, perfect for the Switch.
I think
love the songs. Made me really reminisce about old Final Fantasy games.
I think it's the best Theatrhythm game for sure. It takes away the problems that Curtain Call had.
It does take away the problems that Curtain Call had. I do miss the stylus.
Yeah, I do too a little bit.
Because it was like tactile, It was like a fun little thing. Tough. It's a tough call. I do think this is a better coded game. Yeah, it's better. Okay, it's better.
And it's got more songs.
I just miss one thing about it, but it's better.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Legacy. There's not really any legacy to the game yet. It's still too new. But we do have a bunch of reviews that we are excited to read.
Oh, we sure are so excited to read them. Okay. I haven't played it. Okay, this is Rude Rose. I haven't played it enough to form a full review / question other than the comment that the long, windy notes suck on console. Maybe they were easy on DS with stylus, but they seem very finicky on the console space. Totally disagree, by the way.
Yeah, opposite opinion.
Opposite opinion. I thought they were super finicky on the stylus, and we both had issues with it. So it wasn't like a single DS had a problem. But I thought it was way easier in this one. Like, you just point in the direct. Like, is it going up? You could go straight up with the analog stick,
just
and it's
hold
not going to
it.
do anything.
You don't have to like go up a little and then go back down.
Yeah. And then Skull Hottie says, Theatrhythm, I fucking love it. And then Ohio Bigfoot says, is that the Kingdom Hearts music game? And those are all
Is that it for the Discord?
That's it for Discord. And then I got a few questions from Brulo, but we can get to questions after the review.
All right. So I've got another review here from our email, fffanatics123@gmail.com. If you want to give us a review for 16, that'll be the next game. Theatrhythm Final Bar Line from Jake H. It's your first name, last initial. Having played the previous 2 Theatrhythm games, I was somewhat apprehensive about how a series I generally loved would translate to a controller instead of the touchscreen. To me, it translated beautifully, and this is now the definitive version in the series. The controls feel precise and tighter than they ever felt on the DS. Along with the better controls comes some insane difficulty. As a veteran rhythm game player, the first 2 games, while somewhat challenging, never posed a difficulty that I simply couldn't beat. That is not the case with Final Bar. Basic and expert modes are fairly easily beatable with good rankings. However, Ultimate is extremely difficult and Supreme mode is laughable. Having these insane difficulty levels along with the massive collection of tracks from nearly every FF imaginable means this game provides hours of replayability. Another aspect of this game that feels improved from the DS is the song length. Every track feels like it was shortened to 2 minutes, which is perfect to keep you engaged and not get bored at some of the lesser tracks. This game feels like the sort of thing Square Enix would release on mobile in 2023 with crazy-ass microtransactions for every song and gacha mechanics for new characters. I'm so glad this game is a console release and have absolutely loved my time with it so far. Cheers, Brulo.
Okay. Glad you love it. It's definitely the definitive Theatrhythm.
Yeah.
Sure, even though no one bought it.
Yeah, definitively unknown.
Yeah.
I got one more review from the email here from Felicia Domiko, who once again has another different name as the email, last name Marble. I don't know what's real anymore. You can't have a real name that sounds like a fake name. A fake name that sounds like a real name, kinda.
Hey, look, she's our only female.
And then
listener,
another fucking
okay?
real name.
All right, we need her here. Stop making fun of her.
What's real? What's real, Felicia? Anyway, so she writes, I was super excited to find out there was a Theatrhythm on the Switch. I thought Curtain Call was the last one. Glad I was wrong, and honestly, this is just a cheap, easy money maker for Square, so they should never stop making them. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
If there's a sequel, we'll know.
Yeah. A lot of the changes made to this game are good. I like the quests being a single game. I like that I can choose the difficulty of each song and the quest as well. I can't really go beyond expert on a lot of songs. It's just too much for my dyslexic brain to cope. So when I hit those songs in the other 2 games, that's when I had to tap out and couldn't finish the quest. I also love the accessibility options in this iteration. It's a music game of pure nostalgia. It should be super accessible, and I think they did a good job with that. Never tried any of that stuff. You can make the game almost as easy or as hard as you want. I like the new button combos they can do since they are no longer limited to one directional input. I like the song choices for the most part. Lots of old favorites, lots of new songs. The visuals are still super cute and look great handheld or docked. I think the trigger arrangements are still really good in this version. I also like how locked the songs are, making you play some from each game to unlock the next game. And there's a ton of DLC coming still. Yay. Now we get to the bits I like less. Some of the changes made in this game are just baffling. Changes made for the sake of changing something, not making it better, not fixing a problem. The songs seem shorter in this version. I know some are definitely shorter because One Winged Angel was a long-ass song that took me a long time to master in Curtain Call. It's really short in this version. They took out all the extra trigger sounds you could earn with Rhythmia. I love being able to customize the sounds. They do let you go back to the original basic songs, which is nice, but I prefer the softer sounds. Honestly, the underuse of Rhythmia as an in-game currency is baffling as well. Curtain Call used the hell out of it, and I thought it was a great way to encourage continued play well after the songs were mastered. They do have the card collecting, which is fun and maybe more popular. I miss the summon sections of the fight songs, and why are there fights on my field music now? Yeah. I preferred the running, but that's just me being grumpy and old, I think. My only other real gripe is that this game is a lot easier than the other two, which is nuts because some of the button combos in this game are trickier, and why oh why are the double arrows not a different color? I am breezing through these songs on Expert on my first try. Overall, though, it's still one of my favorite rhythm games, and I am happy to have it on the Switch. I tend to get a craving for playing Theatrhythm, and now I have a new game to scratch that itch. I was several 100,000 Rhythmia deep in Curtain Call, so you can guess what kind of playtime this game will get from me. Highly recommend for FF fans who have some rhythm in their bones. Well worth buying. Felicia Nomiko. Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPad.
Oh my god. Interesting perspective on that. With the trigger sounds, I just turned them down. I was annoyed by it because I was like, I wanted to hear the music more.
Yeah.
So I did turn them down. That was super loud.
I turned them down a little bit, and it was still probably too loud.
Yeah.
But
you can turn it down.
So. Yeah. One thing I will say is a betrayal. God damn it. I just lost the name of the track. Is it To Xanarkand? From FF10? Yeah, it's not in there.
Oh, I didn't play 10, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not there.
That's wrong.
They got the one theme, the...
Oh, they got remixes of that, too.
It's kind of the same song. But that's what they always do, though. They have like a main theme, and then
same song.
Well, yeah, but it's similar. It's like they have a main theme for the game, and then they have songs that kind of play off of that theme.
Yeah,
and changes. So that one, I was like, okay, I kind of forgive you. But To Xanarkand is one of the best. It's like top 3 Final Fantasy tracks of all time, and it's not in here. I'm like, yeah, I played that at my wedding, for God's sake. Like,
you did. That was a surprise for me. I was like, wow, he's really going for the Final Fantasy podcast.
Yeah. I wanted to play like Terra's theme for our send-off, you know? Like, yeah. He throwing rice at me, and I got that blaring. But I didn't push my luck. So, but yeah, that was kind of weird. There's some that I'm like, how is this not in here? Like, what's going on? Or like the Pagathan theme from 14. That wasn't one of them in there. I'm like, dude, where's my guitar, man? Like my sitar, like what they had the mumble rock, like
sitar metal thing.
Oh no, the one for the last expansion. I think so.
Yeah, I bet.
And they had the one that sounds like a Power Man song was in there too.
Oh, the Power Man 5000 ripoff song.
Yeah, that was in there.
Oh yeah, okay.
They had good tracks from 14, but I'm like, dude, I loved that freaking like metal sitar track. I thought that thing was so fucking cool. I don't think that was in there either. No. I don't remember though.
Wrong.
Yeah, the Cranberries ripoff. Yeah, we gotta like piece together. All right, what CDs does Soken have?
What did Soken listen to that week? I mean, he does have to pump out a huge amount of music, so I can imagine him just being like, "This melody sounds good," and then like a week later being like, "I ripped that off, didn't I?"
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh. It's out.
Yeah, so I can't blame the guy because he does have to pump out endless amounts of tracks for an endless experience. And this dude, I was so mad when I saw it. 28 fucking tracks of 14. I was like, are you kidding me?
Out of like 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And like 28. You're going to make me play 28 of these fucking songs? Like, how much more time is 14 going to demand of me? It's ridiculous.
We got questions from Brulo. This is the only person who sent us questions.
All right.
Favorite song? That's like saying favorite song from Final Fantasy, except To Xanarkin's not available.
Yeah.
It must be one of the 12 versions of Battle of the Big Bridge. Clearly, I loved that song, how many times I played it. I just loved going through FF2's music. That was probably my favorite part of the experience for me, because I obviously had a limited run. I didn't play everything. Just being able to reminisce there and listening to like the final areas music. I don't remember the song names, but I would say my favorite game to go through was FF2 because it had been so long, and I was able to be reminded of how good the music is in that game.
Yeah, I think my favorite was Home Sweet Home is what it's called from Final Fantasy V. It's just kind of like the main theme. That one, and then what is the one? Is it Behind the Door? That might be the one that's like the main theme for FF9. I never remember.
I don't know
but it's like
I'm not
one,
good at the track names for this series.
It's the one that plays on the menu where it's just like the do 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 do.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, that one's amazing. That's like my favorite track from that game, easily. It's crazy because it's just the main menu thing. And so like I would just sit there sometimes, like when I was tired after work, and I'd just put the game in and just like lay on the couch and nap with that thing going. So those two probably.
Number 2's was thoughts on the transition from touch controls to controller. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Number 3, plan to get the plat. Some of those trophies are brutal. You want to go into some of those trophies?
Yeah, the ones that were brutal, the last thing I did was there's like an endless mode where you get 3 pieces of health, basically, and you have to beat the song, and you have to complete the challenge on the song to actually keep your health. So, like, if you lose all 3, you lose, and you have to get to round 20 or higher to win. And there's some tracks that will give you more health back, like it's a healing track, but the challenge is always super, super hard. So that one took me probably like 4 tries, and then I was able to do it. But the one that really takes the meat of your time is the one that really
takes the meat.
loves taking the meat is the chicks at Arby's. I'll tell you what.
Oh God.
So it's the challenges in each of the levels. One of them, I think it was like FF2 or FF5. It was the final boss fight, and one of those unmemorable. I mean, X-Death is kind of memorable, but one of those lesser final boss guys.
It's memorable because it was
a pain.
Such a pain in the ass.
Ridiculous, yeah. One of them, like, you had to defeat the boss within like 30 seconds, and every time you would start that section, he would silence like everybody. He would like status effect the shit out of you. But what you could do is right before that, how I beat it was Shantoto casts Ultima, and then she's silenced, but then all the mimics just redo it, and it doesn't count as silence. So I just fucking leveled the guy. I did like 1 million damage to him or something crazy. It was just like huge number. It was like FF13 numbers just flying everywhere.
Just numbers.
Yeah, just mega numbers.
Numbers. Here's some numbers.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest trophy to get, just because there are so many challenges. There's like 300 something challenges in the game, and some of them were pretty brutal. And the battle on the big bridge one was hard because all it was beat the song on whatever the second to highest difficulty is. And all I did, dude, I just packed myself full of Phoenix Downs and like potions, and everybody in the party was a healer. Like, there was no damage being dealt whatsoever because I was barely able to hit the notes because they're so fast. And I just had to hit enough to stay alive until they could cure me and keep my health bar up. And that's basically how I beat that one. Jeez. But those are long. The 100% ones where you have to get perfect chains. There's one where you have to get perfects on 20 tracks. So like you have to hit every note at least. No, I think you just have to 100% every 20 songs. That one I got pretty early on. And the one that took a little bit longer was the perfect chain one, where I had to have like a perfect chain at some point. It didn't have to be all at once, but it's like you got a perfect chain, sections 1 through 20 of the song. That one was the second to last one, or third to last one I got. So that one was a little tough, but mostly the challenge one took forever because it's every song in story mode has a challenge.
He asked if it's the most brutal or the most difficult FF ever released.
Maybe on the higher end, but I'm not playing that, so I don't know for sure.
You don't need to because like there's nothing for you.
No,
There's no platinum.
No, there's no need. Yeah, so
who knows?
I didn't fight penance properly. I didn't fight the summons in FF12 Zodiac Age properly. I can't say I cheated on all of these things. You kidding me? I already spent enough time in here.
You just did the cheap way. It's not cheating.
I just paid.
Cheap.
I just paid Yojimbo to one shot that motherfucker. So I can't say for sure. That fight's probably harder than most of the stuff in this game, but it's also hard because you have to not only have good rhythm and like. But most people I feel like would be fine with rhythm. But you also have to have really fast hands. Yeah. And like I'm getting kind of older now, and I'm not as fast as I used to be with the old hands.
I know
the hands and
I know so well
the meat of it all.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Yeah, you're definitely a lot less rapid fire, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So like it's hard to say. It probably could be the hardest one, but I'm not messing around with that difficulty, dude. That's too much time to master.
Overall thoughts on the mixture of party mechanics / leveling with the rhythm game. I have almost none because I just played the songs and that's all I had to do.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool because to complete the challenges, other than just looking up the guide that I think Branny linked me, he played the shit out of this game as well. It was fun to play around with like different mechanics and like I didn't always follow the guides that I had found online near the end for completion, but it was fun to kind of play around with the party mechanics, try different things, try different abilities at different times. So like I thought it was a cool add-on, but it's really only there if you want it to be. Otherwise, it's just a fun experience of you burying your Final Fantasy love. So it's kind of there. It's kind of like lore. It's there if you want it, but you don't have to have it.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
So on the legacy of this title, it's brand new. Came out in February. So there's not much there. All we can really do, I do want to say, I just looked up the Wikipedia talking about its first week of sales or whatever for each of these games. The first number they have is for the first month of sales in Japan for the first game is 112,000.
Okay.
And then Curtain Call was 80,000. And then this one's at 20,000.
That's a big drop. It's like FF13 series.
I don't know if we're going to have... It depends on how much money the DLCs you make them.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, I feel like this could be the master...
Digital sales for this one because there was no... I'm not aware of any digital version that's available in the DS. So
yeah, that's true. Might be
knows?
skewing it, yeah. I mean, I could see them making this like the master rhythm game, right? Being like, all right, well, this is the last one we're going to do.
This will be it for the PS5 era.
But we're going to release a bunch of DLC and keep people going. So, like, if you want more tracks.
Yeah. They could keep probably, like, there's probably going to be like 3,000 core fans that are just going to give them a quick paycheck every couple weeks.
Yeah. I listened to some of the Live a Live or whatever it is songs, and they sounded annoying. So I was like, I'm not going to buy any of this.
I've only played a little bit of that game. It's not annoying yet. So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to buy... I might buy the DLC for the songs that I know, the games that I played, but I don't think I'll buy like the saga and all that crap. So...
Yeah, they don't count anyway.
Yeah, no. They're fake.
So, final thoughts on Theatrhythm.
I think it's worth it. I would pick it up. I think it's probably worth at least $30. I think I'm fine with what I paid for it, considering how much time I put in. But it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't have the full production value of like a full-on game.
Yeah.
So it feels a little dirty that you're spending $50 on this thing.
It's like a really good mobile title.
Yeah.
It's still basically a DS game, just on the console.
Yeah.
That's where I'd put the quality level. So, but it's fun, and it's reminiscing of tracks, and if you're someone like Felicia who put in a bazillion hours into Curtain Call,
yeah, it's for you.
It's perfect for that. That might be worth it. That might be worth the $50. But yeah, I'd say 30 is about. Nah, I'm leaning towards 20, but that might be my old man price brain.
Yeah,
going. It might be worth 30.
That's fair.
Yeah. So solid game. gonna rank the theater rhythms, I do think this is the best one.
Yeah, I'd go this one. Curtain
Call.
OG.
Yeah.
Curtain Call's big flaw is big, but it's not big enough to overcome the advancements they made.
No.
And this one just gets rid of that flaw. So
Yeah. All right.
That's all I got. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, guys. Well,
thanks. Sorry we didn't get this to you a month and a half ago.
yeah. Sorry about that. Another reminder to, if we owe you an episode, you got to do this before the FF16 episode. You got to get in contact with us before the FF16 episode comes out. Please send me a message via Patreon or a DM on Discord to me, not to Schweiss, not a message for everybody to see. A DM to me on Discord. And you can join the Discord. There should be a link in the description of this episode for the Discord channel for you to join. And with that, stay tuned for FF16. FFfanatics123@gmail.com.
Yes.
If you play FF16 and you play it quickly, because we plan on, who knows, we have a control, like a recording problem like we did this time. I plan on kind of ruining my life for FF16 for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think I beat FF15 in, like 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah, we hit it hard.
So I plan on hitting 16 pretty hard. So you got to play it and beat it in a hurry, or at least have an opinion a few hours in.
Yeah. One of the two.
Yeah. So send us your questions and your reviews, fffanatics123@gmail.com, or join our Discord, and there's a place for that there. Thank you guys so much for listening to us and supporting us on Patreon and chilling with us on Discord and checking out our other podcast, Nude Clan, the Godzilla podcast. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Until then, enjoy the grind.